Howdy folks, this is Shane. Today I'm going to show you a little bit about phrasing and why I think it's kind of like the most underrated gem of blues guitar playing. No matter if you're a beginner or intermediate guitar player, hopefully you get something out of this video. If you do like this particular video and you want to see my help series, I'll post them all up in the cards so you can check that out. Phrasing is one of those things you got to think of it as a conversation. You play one thing, have a break, and play something else. There's one thing I see all too much of these days, especially on YouTube, are blues players that go like this. I hate listening to players like that. Put a pause in from time to time. You don't have to play fast to make it sound impressive. It actually sounds more classy and more professional, not just going nuts like that on guitar. There might be a place for that at the last 12 bar go round on a 100 bar solo or whatever on a slow blues. But if you play with a little bit more self-restraint, it's gonna sound way better. All right, let's break this down and I'll show you a little bit about how you can get started with some good phrasing. Let's go. So one of the tricks for playing great blues is to phrase properly. And there's no right or really wrong way to do this other than don't overplay. Think of it as a conversation. The way I would look at it is one voice is doing this. That's the phrase. And then the other voice would be. So you've got two separate parts. You've got the high bits, followed by that lower part. If you're a beginner and you've only learnt a couple of the basics of blues and licks and all that kind of stuff, you might want to just start with part of the pentatonic here. So you might want to pick these four notes, which are also and here. That's all you'll need to get going with this. So you can play a little lick here. You don't have to keep the passages the same, but while you're starting out, it's probably a good thing just to pick four notes and work with those and try to make it sound different. Now they're all the same notes. So find those notes along the fretboard as well, and that will also help you branch out of that box one. Same thing, so work on that as well, and then go high to low and think in terms of conversation. As you can hear, having two separate styles of licks going on really works well for blues. You get that conversation thing going. Guys like Clapton, B.B. King, and all of the blues greats phrase extremely well, and if you can get it going like a conversation, it will kind of relate. The great thing about phrasing is you don't have to play something unique every time. You can play something low. So the low part of that stayed the same, but what I did up on the higher strings was different. So you can kind of come back to certain points when you're playing and it will work. Maybe after the second or third time, move on to something else. That's a really good trick for you to start out and get your conversations going on guitar. Then you can start mixing it up a little bit as well. That last riff kind of sounded metal. but it's just a little rundown. Another really cool trick is you can play the low A kind of minor pentatonic scale, and then play it up higher as well on the 17th fret. So as you can hear, that's exactly the same thing in two separate positions. This will allow you to do pretty much what we did before. Thanks for watching. My name's Shane. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions about this video or the content within it, please let me know and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. As I mentioned, I have a playlist of help tutorial videos in the card, so definitely check it out. I hope this one was useful. I think phrasing's kind of almost become the forgotten gem of blues guitars. So many guys don't do it. You'll see a lot of dudes just shred on guitar up and down, and it's like, all right, after about a minute of that, it gets old. At least it does to me. There's guys that will absolutely love that. But for me personally, if you want to play good blues, try to phrase. Even if you just pick, like I mentioned, 4 notes and play them in different spots and watch what happens. All of a sudden, you'll get a lot more things you can do. I've got my guitar turned down now, but yeah, you get the point. Have a mess around with this. There's no right or wrong to phrasing, but just try to keep a little bit of space between your licks. No matter how complicated your licks are or how simple they are, space is always good. Think about the groove. If it's a slow blues, you'll need to phrase differently to if it's a shuffle. That's important as well. But for the sake of the video, I thought I would show you some concepts to help you get started. Thanks again for watching, folks. I absolutely appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell. We've just clicked over 60,000 subs on our way to 100. So share the channel around as well. If this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you soon. See ya.